The slumping Golden Knights blow a 2-goal lead in Pittsburgh. We preview Saturday's game in Detroit versus the OG6 Red Wings. And what the Friday. That's all ahead right here on Locked On Golden Knights.
You're Locked On Golden Knights, your daily podcast on the Vegas Golden Knights, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Thanks for making us your first listen each and every day. Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick from Las Vegas. You can find us on Twitter at LockedOnVGK, at Tony Dasco, at TD Chris G. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel and on the podcast. We're brought to you today by BetOnline.net. BetOnline.net, your number one source for sports betting information, stats, and analysis. So, following this 47-shot barrage last night, I do mean barrage on the VGK net, and a 4-3 come from behind Penguins victory. Brock McGinn last night, Chris, says after the game that the Penguins wanted to create chaos in front of the VGK net. Mission accomplished. We could start there. Lack of defense for the Vegas Golden Knights. All those shots on Logan Thompson. Another bad second period for the Vegas Golden Knights. Ice was tilted immensely in the second period last night in Pittsburgh. And VGK blows a two-goal lead in that game. And they come back, second power play for Pittsburgh. Evgeny Malkin on the 4-on-3. He scores the goal, ties the game. Kasperi Kapanen with the game winner. 27 seconds, Chris, into this game last night. A penalty on William Carrier, his first of 3 penalties. He was boxed three times in this game. Your guy. Go ahead, pick it up from there.
You got to have. Let's see. What would the Will Carrier hat trick be? I think I'm trying to think about this here. We're going to go off the rails for segment one. A Will Carrier hat trick would be starting from the blue line and getting an amazing goal. You got to start there. One time where he goes full speed into the corner and misses a check, full speed,
like that one,
and then 3 penalties, and then that smile after he's done like hitting people. He's kind of like. That's a Will Carrier hat trick right there. All right, good morning. All right, so I didn't watch the game terribly closely. I got to concede that we were down actually on Water Street right by Lifeguard for the tree lighting, which was I don't know, maybe that would make what the Friday now that I'm thinking about it. But going back to the game, I was kind of just watching along with the scoring and the updates, and I saw 2-0 VGK in the first. I did see a lot of shots on goal though for the Pittsburgh Penguins. You know, you kind of keep an eye on that. We've talked about the importance of shots on goal, whether they're quality shots, not quality shots, or in this case, decent shots with chaos in front of the nets. More shots, more chaos equals more opportunity, of course. And then, then the second period, again, just unfortunate. It's been a reoccurring theme where VGK is having a rough second period. I thought I saw someone, I forgot who, but I thought someone mentioned our second period goal differential is like a -8 or something like that. We're solid in the first and the third, but the second period has not been good. And another, 2 goals in the wrong direction last night. Then the third period, the game starts fresh, right? And the VGK gets out to the 3-2 lead. You feel like, okay, whatever happened in the locker room, they come out, they get the early power play goal. Shea Theodore gets his first goal in a while, which certainly is a slight monkey off his back.
First power play goal too.
Oh, okay. It's even better. That's certainly a confidence booster. And then Sidney Crosby, who else creates a turnover on Nick Hague, and boom. And Nick Hague, I didn't watch the game terribly closely last night, but I feel like Nick Hague he got a weird penalty. They got scored on and then lost the stick. Not a great game for Nick Hague right now, unfortunately. And, I'm not going to get too far into my overall opinion about the game. That might come in the Friday, but it's unfortunate and uncharacteristic of what we are used to, even when the VGK was, beaten and battered last season as far as injuries and stuff go. When they had a third period lead, they didn't have too many of them, but when they did have a third period lead, it didn't feel, you weren't on edge, but right now we're on edge. We're a little uncomfortable with things, and take it with a grain of salt. Our best defenseman, Pietrangelo, has been out the last couple of games, and it shows on both sides, right? On the offensive ability to rush the puck, the power play, and then obviously on the defensive side. So, and there was an emotional connection last game for Letang. They wanted to do well for Letang, who unfortunately is going to be out for his second stroke in about an 8-year window or something like that. And we wish him nothing but the best, but things like that do create an emotional vibe, if you will, and the team wants to win for one of their longtime leaders. And the deck, bad Vegas pun coming, but the deck was stacked against VGK, and they almost got it right. They almost at least snuck a point out of that game. They almost got the victory. And unfortunately, Pittsburgh had other plans. And give credit to Pittsburgh. Everyone's jumping all over the Vegas Golden Knights. Give credit for Pittsburgh for playing a good, tough, emotional game where they had a plan and executed better than the VGK.
Okay, see, that's 4-3.
Carry the 1-3-1.
4-3, 4-3.
Paul
That was
Cotter?
Logan Thompson last night with the final score in favor of Pittsburgh. Okay, 4-3. That wasn't Cotter's number. Logan Thompson. LT just battered a net last night. He was just shredded. I mean, so he takes a shot to the shoulder in the first period, goes down. He was shaken up. He fell awkwardly another time, lost his stick in net twice. Okay, 2 times he just loses his stick and comes up with saves, which is just, again, remarkable. He was interfered with, and he also had an interference, the costly interference call on himself last night. And he took that shot from the stick. It was the stick of Martinez last night that guillotined him underneath the mask. It was a rough go of things for Logan Thompson last night. You could talk about him in net. And then also it was is this a term? Pete DeBoer-esque with all those shots for VGK. Their shots were all from the perimeter. They weren't doing much from the outside. The Theodore goal, great traffic in front of the net. Thought for a moment that Stone had deflected it. But
I think it hit the defenseman, and that's why he dropped on the way in.
Yeah, and most of the shots, though, were coming from the outside. Once again, they funnel them to the outside, and this team cannot function when teams do that to them, push them towards the outside. Let's go ahead.
No, you're good, Tony. You're good. Let's go. Let's get an early what the Friday out there for the fans here. Obviously, because we don't have Ryan Reeves, that's why Logan Thompson got beat up last night, right? That's why we were outworked. We need Ryan Reeves. We need an enforcer. Oh my goodness, bridge jumping. Let's just stop it. Sure, you would like someone to clear out that traffic, and Ben Hutton certainly is not that type of person by any means. Alex Pietrangelo can handle his own in front of the nets. Credit Pittsburgh for just doing what they needed to do, and the fact that they are now game planning for ways to beat a goalie like Logan Thompson, who's the projected Calder Trophy winner, at least through December so far. He was the NHL Rookie of the Month in November, if I'm not mistaken. So LT is making waves out there in the NHL, and good job for him. And unfortunately, now teams are now planning for Logan Thompson. There's some video out on him. This is the first time we've really seen, it wasn't an all-out attack, but an attack on his area.
And it was an all-out attack.
And exactly.
Even his own teammates were attacking.
Yeah, right. So, what is that going to mean now? I mean, I'm sure he's going to get a day off on Saturday. We knew that was coming. And obviously now it'll be better that he's going to be off on Saturdays. He's got, that extra day to heal. And, Cassidy wants his 1A out there against Boston, of course, on Monday night. So I wonder now if this is maybe the cheat code. Someone cracked the code on a way to beat VGK and get to the net a little bit quicker and, get more goals on Logan Thompson. Career high in saves. Let's talk about the plus here. Career high in saves, was under siege, under attack, under everything all night long. And he rose to the occasion, right? I don't think any of the goals were bad by any means from what I watched. And, it's a good character building game for someone like Logan Thompson, and another opportunity for VGK to look in the mirror and, someone to step up and try and figure out why these third period leads are being coughed up, why the second period is not going according to plan. And I want to put a positive spin on this right now, but I got to save it for what the Friday.
Okay. And that was the first time that Pittsburgh had faced Logan Thompson
Okay.
Was
That's
last
that's
night.
always interesting.
Yeah, it was again an interesting dynamic there. And Pittsburgh was a team that had been successful 19 consecutive times coming into the game on the PK, and they moved up from 29th. Remember, you were talking about how quickly teams could move up, like VGK, if they had another couple of power play goals last season, could have moved up, as far as the rankings go. So Pittsburgh went, I think they said, from 29th to 8th. And because they had that success 0 for 19. And then we saw Riley Smith once again. Riley Smith with the 4th power play goal of this season for himself, and is it 3 shorthanded goals this season? He's been a special teams dynamo.
Riley Smith, his value to this team, and Riley. So if we're going to use a Moneyball reference, right? You know how they look at defects of players and why they're trying to sign certain players. Riley Smith's defect is he's quiet and unnoticeable at times. But when I say unnoticeable, I don't mean I hate to do this, but it's the only way I can do it. He's not Phil Kessel on the ice unnoticeable. I'm not taking a shot. I'm just simply making a comparison right now. Riley Smith is a very quiet individual. He isn't, you don't see him a lot in the media after the games. And when he is out there, you're not going to get much out of him as far as that sound bites. He's a professional. He is a professional's professional that just kind of keeps quiet. He shows up to work. He does his business. He does a good job. If it wasn't for that celebrity softball game, you wouldn't know this dude could crack a smile. And I mean that. At the softball game, he was probably a little bit of a liquid encouragement, but he was certainly very out there, very vocal, just having a very good laid back time. And if it wasn't for that softball game, I don't think any of us would know that side of him exists. So, credit to Riley Smith for what he's doing. Credit Riley Smith for wanting to remain a Vegas Golden Knight. I think he could have made a little bit more money elsewhere. I think there would have been people lining up to pay him closer to $6 million for, maybe the type of term that he wanted. I think he might have sacrificed a little bit of money to stay in Vegas. He's trying to build a personal brand, if you will, as far as the softball game and helping out local charities and things like that. So Riley Smith is someone we felt would step up, and he's stepping up beyond what we thought he would do. So, credit to Riley, and maybe you can carry your boy Carlson along for the ride now.
Oh boy. What about Eichel and Stone in the penalty box together at the same time?
That's not good.
Eichel went in. Yeah, that's most of your team, right? And
a lot of money in the box,
and a lot of money in the box for sure. But why does so one of the fans had asked about Eichel? It was the goalie interference call on Logan Thompson. Why did Eichel serve that penalty?
That's a fair question. So the rules go and I'm sure it's the same at the NHL level, I would hope at least. So if there is a penalty, either like, let's say it's a too many players on the ice situation or a goalie penalty.
We call that the LA Kings rule. Too many men on the ice.
Why?
No, it's just the too many men on the ice. It's the LA Kings. Go ahead.
I thought there was a joke coming there or something. That's really what it's called.
That is the punchline. That's it. The LA Kings have too many men on the ice. Your turn.
I don't get it. Okay. Anyway, it's Friday.
Is that your What the Friday?
That's my that's my What the Friday, not understanding what the heck you're talking about. No. So the rule goes, if the goalie gets a penalty, or if it's a situation where there's like an unsportsmanlike penalty, the coach is chirping or whatever it is, one of the players on the ice at the time the penalty occurred has to serve the penalty.
Why in the world would they put Eichel in there? Why would they?
And that's what I was going to get at right now. I wonder who the other 4 players were, because Eichel's been getting a lot of time.
I would send any of the other 4 before I would send Eichel.
So the question I would ask, you said him and Stone are both in the box, correct?
Yeah, Stone was in.
Was Stone in the box? Whose penalty came first?
Stone's
penalty came first.
Yeah, Stone.
So there was going to be a natural power play afterwards. It was probably a coincidental. We weren't 5-on-3. It was probably a coincidental situation.
It was 4-on-3. It was a
4-on-3. Okay. So we only had 4 players on the ice, and we were already we weren't on the kill at that point.
3.
Okay.
They were on the kill because Logan Thompson.
We were already on the kill. Okay.
Yeah. So Logan Thompson
I get the answer
with
now.
the goalie interference.
Yep. So my answer to that then is basically, my answer to that is, if you're going to have 3 players on the ice, they didn't want Eichel to be the center doing that. They probably would have rather had Riley Smith William Karlsson or Nick Waugh in that circumstance. And
Ooh.
I agree with that as far as
You
on the
do?
defensive side. Oh, I agree with that. Absolutely. I think Jack Eichel being the lone center out there isn't as good as William Karlsson. Yes, I said that. As Riley Smith, and Nick Waugh, I think, is my first person I would put out there. And then the back of that rotation would be Jack Eichel.
Okay. I've got another question.
You're not pulling the defenseman, obviously, at that point off the ice.
Correct about that. Okay. So Tristan Jerry, there's a power play. Pittsburgh's on the power play at the end of the first period. And I get that, goaltenders tend to, they hit their stick on the ice when the power play is about to be over.
Yep.
However,
10 seconds left. Yep.
However, he was doing something like staccato where I thought he was sending in some sort of a signal or play or something. Morse code. Yeah. Could that be? I mean, the fans think I'm crazy. I tweeted it out last night. Does it signal?
Did you tweet it from your own? Did you get the video of it too, or just your perspective?
It was just I did not get a video.
I'm curious because I mean,
the way he was hitting the ice was like I thought he was playing. Like when you play Wipeout as a kid or something with the drumsticks. Okay, he was doing something there to signal in a play or something else. But we'll get to the bottom.
I mean, it might be just his way of getting attention. It might just be something different that they do. Maybe the arena's loud. What is with that stupid horn that you keep hearing throughout the game? Stop it. That thing is so. There you go. What the Friday? That's two What the Fridays in segment one. I'm chirpy this morning, folks.
It was dead quiet in that arena in the first period, and then
for that stupid.
Did you see their TV crew? It was the 2000s night, and people. That's crazy that we're going
because the retro. It was a retro night.
It was a retro night, right? Yes, but they went way back to the decade of 2000. So, holy smokes, that is way back. But they were all dressed up in costumes. It was hilarious. It was pretty good. I was watching their feed last night.
1997 classifies your car as a classic rod right now. Think about that for a second. 25 years old.
Wow, that is crazy. But I just wanted to talk real fast. Pietrangelo, the glue guy for this team, is he proving that he's the guy that keeps this team together?
I think we've learned a lot about not just Pietrangelo, but Nick Waugh also. Things started to go a little bit south when Nick Waugh was gone for a while. So Nick Waugh, someone you're going to put on every single line, every single situation. And then Pietrangelo, he's having a friggin' remarkable year. And it's unfortunate. Again, life happens. No one's downing him by any means, but it's unfortunate that he had to miss these couple of games because you see how valuable, especially this season, he's having, a career year. It was he 34 or something like that right now. And we need Pietrangelo on the ice. Again, he comes back when he's ready, family first and whatever's going on. We wish him all the best. But when he does return, it's going to be a big boost for this team. And one thing I wonder is if Ben Hutton is Ben Hutton's never the answer, no disrespect, but would Miromanov be, better suited than Hutton? I wonder if the longer Petro is projected to come back Saturday from what I've been reading, but I wonder if this does last a little while, if Miromanov gets an opportunity to get out there instead of Hutton. I like Miromanov's game a little bit better than Hutton.
You shook me off when I said slumping Golden Knights at the start. Okay. In the headlines, they've lost 3 or 4, Chris. Come on, man. They are slumping.
Fine. Fair. They've lost 3 of 4 games.
Yeah.
But let me just make sure. Okay. Let's see. It still says Pacific 1 VGK. Technically, Seattle can overtake us right now, and that's fair. The lead is not nearly.
That's a news. Yeah,
I love
headline.
It. I think it's great for the league. I think it's absolutely wonderful, and you're going to see all these. You're going to see 40 teams in the NHL right now because everyone wants expansion because the rules are rigged for the expansion teams. Apparently,
rigged. Absolutely. Rigged.
I know the VGK. Yes, they're struggling, no doubt about that. Slumping.
They've lost 3 of 4. They lost 2 again on home ice. They are slumping, Chris.
Fair. It's fair that they're struggling, but I cannot say the top team in the West in points is slumping right now. I can't.
Okay. Coming up next, preview VGK traveling to Detroit on Saturday to meet the Red Wings. We'll take a look ahead right here on Locked On Golden Knights. BetOnline.net is your #1 source for sports betting information, stats, news, and analysis. Get the latest odds and trends for every professional and amateur league out there. From football to basketball to soccer to esports, we've got it all at betonline.net. And if you love sports podcasts, you can also find those at BetOnline as well. We are always the fastest, the easiest way to get your betting fix. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more. BetOnline, where the game starts. Welcome back from Las Vegas, Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick. Yeah, they are slumping. You could find us, of course, on our YouTube channel, Locked On Golden Knights. Please subscribe there. Subscribe on our podcast. Be sure to appreciate all of your great comments. Thanks for making us your first listen each and every day. The fifth and final game for the Red Wings of their homestand is tomorrow night, Saturday night. They lost to Buffalo the last time out on Thursday in a shootout 5-4. Watched a lot of that game, and it was, a game that they came back. Detroit, Buffalo blew a lead. They came back, and then after that, they wound up losing the game. I just remember, I go back and I reflect on last year's game. I don't know if you remember this, but it was, again, Peter DeBoer-esque. I'm just gonna.
It was like a Sunday matinee game, if I remember.
It was a matinee game. Yes, it was a matinee game. But the thing that I recall most about that game was Laurent Brossoit hadn't played in a while, and I think he had 10 days off, and then they put him in net, and things imploded on him. But I that's the one thing I recall. And after the game, DeBoer going, "Yeah, I need to get our backup goaltender, into some more games, and we didn't play it the right way, and what have you." What do you make of this Detroit team? Very talented. They've got the youth movement. Mo Seider beat out Zegras. Who else? Bunting, was it last year?
As far as the Calder you're talking about?
Yeah, for the Calder. Yeah. He's very talented. Larkin. They've got some Lucas Raymond. My goodness, they've got some great, terrific young talent. Things are starting to pay off. And we're going to see Val Husso in net, 9-3-3. This team's they're 11-6-5.
If Kelly McCrimmon is not the GM of the year, it's Steve Yzerman and the Yzer plan. I might have borrowed the McCrimmon plan from the Yzer plan.
I was waiting for that. Thank you.
Either way, so yeah, I'm looking at the Red Wing stats right now. Horniak, 20 points, and Ville Husso. I mean, like, I had a good friend of mine, shout out to Jason Ashenfelter, who reached out to me about Ville Husso. He signed Ville Husso. Who the heck is this guy?
I call him Vile,
Ville, whatever. But yeah, I mean, a 2.58 9.3. That's awesome. He's having a great year, and things are coming together. Dominic Kubelik, that was an acquisition from the Chicago Blackhawks. Dylan Larkin is coming around doing his thing. They have the VGK killer in David Perron. David Perron, when he went back to the Blues, absolutely destroyed the VGK every single time that they played each other. Where's Andrew Kopp? How's he doing right now? Andrew Kopp, that was a big acquisition from your Rangers, I believe, at 13 points. So, I mean, there's a lot of good things happening there. Looking at their standings overall, they are in a playoff position right now, which is something that the Red Wings have not been able to say in a long time. And they're going to be back in that spot for a long time once they can finally get there. +2 on their goal differential. So if there's maybe a concern, obviously that's the first thing that kind of stands out to me. But again, if you're in Detroit right now, you're excited for what's happening. And this is a tough team to play against right now. Detroit is not that easy out that they used to be anymore in the Atlantic. The entire Atlantic is not an easy out like it used to be, unless you're the Canadians. And even they almost took us to the distance. A big comeback. Go figure. VGK coughed up a comeback. But it's going to be an interesting game. And this is a trap game. We talked about this offline right before we hit the record button, right? A bad loss it's a bad loss against Pittsburgh. We can say that.
It's the way they lost. It's the way they lost.
It's a bad loss. No, I'm with you, Tony.
Absolutely awful loss. Yeah.
Bad loss. And then Monday they barely get the job done against Columbus because they're slumping. And then a terrible weekend at home, 2 losses because they're slumping. I get it. And then this is the game you overlook right now. This is the trap game because especially Cassidy. I don't care what Cassidy, he's going to say a lot of things in the media. He's going to say all sorts of polite things about Boston. He wants this game. The Golden Knights want this game for Bruce Cassidy. Monday's matchup in Boston, that is. Just the way that the Vegas Golden Knights wanted that game against the Buffalo Sabres for Jack Eichel. They're going to want to send him home. But they got to get past the tough to beat Detroit Red Wings. And they take their 9-2 record now on the road, and hopefully they can get to, or 10-2 record, 9-2, whatever it is. They got 2 losses on the road all season long.
And
So 10. Okay, good. So let's get past Detroit this weekend. Let's get to Boston with hopefully less nerves, because if they lose this game, you really need the Boston. You don't want to need the Boston game. You don't want to need it on top of all the emotional things that are going to be happening.
Tyler Bertuzzi is out for this game. So I'm watching the game the other night, and he had come off of, I believe it was a right hand injury, a broken hand, right? And he had just gotten back into the flow. He played, I think, like 6 games, 7 games. And then Ben Sherratt, with the blast, I think broke his left hand. His left hand, he left the ice on a slap shot, friendly fire, like we saw, with Eichel getting hurt the other night. And that's why he's going to be out of the lineup in that game. But that's really unfortunate, really bad luck. Sider from last season, 50 points for a defenseman. Unbelievable. You were talking about Kubalik, 22 points this season, really balanced. David Perron, we should do something when we make our predictions moving forward, maybe starting Monday or so, about the VGK killer. Like who do we think can beat the VGK? One player.
Like from the other team?
Yeah, maybe we should do that from an opponent's perspective, because yes, David Perron, now playing on the second line there in Detroit, has 7 goals on the season. Larkin, 25 points. I mean, this team is really loaded when you look at them offensively, and that is frightening for a team that did not fare well defensively in Pittsburgh last night.
Can we do our locks of the night for the other team? Can we include them?
I think we should.
We do have to do that this segment for Detroit, so let's keep that in mind. You want to do that right now, really fast? Do you want to get our locks of the night for Saturday out?
Go ahead. It's your turn to go first.
Okay,
today.
I'll go first. The chalk got there yet. Tony, you had a 4-point day yesterday. You know that?
I know.
You had a 4-point day. You haven't even. You waited for me to say it. You waited for me to say it. All right.
You're the stat guy. You're the stat guy.
All right.
Come on.
Alex Pietrangelo is slated to come back on Saturday.
Okay.
So I'm going to start with Pietrangelo.
Wow.
And in the event he doesn't go, I'll go to Shea Theodore. So I'll take the other defenseman in the event he doesn't go. If you're okay with that, if you're okay with me locking up both. And then I'm only taking one of them, though. I'm only taking one of them. So if Petro is back, I'm not taking Shea Theodore. Let's be clear about this. There's rules, friends.
Okay.
And then let's go with Riley Smith. We talked about Riley Smith. Let's go with Riley Smith. So Pietrangelo / Theodore plus Riley Smith.
I'm going to go with David Perron. I'm going to go with Jake Leschyshyn. He was close around the net. He did everything last night, but put the puck into the net. Okay. I'm going to go with Leschyshyn, and I'm going to go with Marchessault. I don't think I had Marchessault last night.
So the nice thing about Marchessault, Tony, is he's on my autofill when I'm typing through. It comes in after I get to March. Leschyshyn, I have to get the first 3 letters, Google his name. I haven't put his name in enough yet. So that's unfortunate, but we'll make it work. All right. So fam, if you're checking it out, I'll put the tweet out. Let us know who you think's going to get there for the VGK and the Red Wings game. And, we got to catch Tony now. I think the stats are 10 points for Tony. And then I have 8. And I think the fam is at 6 right now. I guess I'm cooking the books. I'm always like looking, okay, someone says William Carrier. Okay, we're going to take that one.
Okay, it's time to predict the score. We didn't predict the score or team, the outcome yesterday. We forgot to do that.
We got Aiden Hill going, which unfortunately for Aiden has not been
4 goals automatically.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking I'm going to go 5-4 Red Wings in the shootouts. 5-4 Red Wings in the shootout, because Cassidy is going to not let Logan Thompson fill out the shootout card.
Wow. Okay, I was going 5-4 also, Detroit, and I just think it's a high-scoring game, and I don't know. We'll see what happens with Aiden Hill after this game, because that would be 4 L's in a row. If he gives up more than 3 goals, that's not.
I don't mind the L's, but it's the goals against that you got to watch out, and the save percentage. 3
goals or more in his last 3 starts, and 0-3. So we will definitely keep an eye on that. Coming up next, it's the much anticipated What the Friday, WTF, on the way right here on Locked On Golden Knights. Welcome back. Lockdown Golden Knights. Tony Cardasco, Chris Golick in Las Vegas. Can't believe it's Friday already, heading into this weekend.
I can't believe it was December.
Yeah, that's kind of really unreal too. Big weekend here, sports-wise, in the city. I'm going to the Pac-12 championship game tonight. USC and Utah, Legion Stadium. Raiders game on Sunday. What are your weekend plans? I know it's hockey
tonight
all
we
the
got
time.
Tonight we got Silver Knights. The family's going. My kids will be on the Zamboni in the first and second
Come on.
intermission, Chris and Allie. So that's going to be a good time.
That's
and then
awesome.
also, shout out for the Silver Knights tomorrow night, Saturday. That's their teddy bear toss. The first goal of the game. You hope they get one, but the first goal of the game, the teddy bears rain down on the ice. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, Tony. I can see you stewing. It's a lot of fun, Tony.
So we
Bad
did
ice.
one of these. We did one of these teddy bear tosses at UNLV, and I was broadcasting the game and unaware of that promotion. I got pelted with about 3 or 4 teddy bears in the back of my head. And
you're lucky that's all it was, Tony.
No, they were aiming at me. I know for sure, but definitely post some good photos and videos.
I'm not sure if we're going tomorrow night, but if we go, I will. Two in a row. That's tough.
We'll see. Zamboni night.
Oh God, yeah, of course, Zamboni, yeah, no doubt.
That's awesome. That's great for the kids, and they don't do those Zamboni gender reveals, I guess, down in the AHL.
Not me and my family. We're done with that nonsense. Two's plenty. Two's good.
You can fire away. What the Friday?
So yeah, this is a good one. I think this is for everyone that lives east of 215 and like Stephanie. Okay, so when you're driving home from Vegas Golden Knights game, and if maybe it's like this in the Northwest too, or going Northeast, I don't know the answer to that. But what I do know is when I'm driving home, if I'm not doing the media stuff, like everyone else, I'm out of the stadium about 15 minutes after the game, usually about a half hour. We're down in that area. And that's right about when you start getting the post-game sound bites. You get Cassidy's presser, you get the post-game with Ryan Wallace. A lot of fun to listen to. Shout out to Ryan. He's a great follow on Twitter as well. So when you're driving home, when I get to about 215 in Stephanie, 215 in Valley Verde, even Green Valley, the signal on the AM and or FM station starts washing away. It's like it's snowing.
Mm-hmm.
So my What the Friday for the Vegas Golden Knights is, how the heck can I not listen to an FM or AM radio station in my car driving? I don't have a brand new car, but it's from 2019 or something like that. It's a Hyundai Sonata, nothing special, but the antenna works just fine. How come the sound equivalent is like Tony's camera fog? What the Friday VGK for the entire Valley not being able to experience a Vegas Golden Knights game on AM or FM radio.
Okay, so they do power down at night, of course, with those signals there in the city. One day I'll teach you how the radio, how that power works, all of that.
So is this a joke, or does it actually work during the day? Like if I turn the station on now, is it going to work?
Yeah, if you turn it on now, but they're forced to power down because other stations with that frequency are a little bit more powerful than they are at night. So they need to boost that up, move it to another station or what have you.
A learning experience. Thank you, Tony.
Hey, no problem. So tips are accepted here. So how could VGK, Chris, have such a good practice, right, on the road on Wednesday? And I just had enough of Cassidy saying, oh, we have too many games in a row.
I like it.
This team definitely gets, they take time. They have so much time off. Look at them around the holiday. They're always home during holidays. They have more time off than any other team in the stinking NHL, in the Honda Pacific, and otherwise. Okay. And so, he now says that their game is, quote, splintered a little bit. So they are splintered. He can see it. WTF. This is a team that has lost 3 or 4. How do they turn things around? They need to stop the bleeding. They need to play better defensively. It's just they're losing to lower division teams. They should have lost to Columbus the other day. Okay, look out. The Kraken, they're on their way. I've had enough of this, okay? Seriously. I mean, they need to get their stuff together, and enough of the complaints about we don't have enough time between games. No, you played the game on Monday, and your next game's on Thursday. They came out, and they were not very good. They didn't fire away. Riley Smith at intermission, number 1. Riley Smith is saying, yeah, we have a 2-goal lead, but we didn't play well. And then that carries over into period number 2. WTF, get it together, Vegas Golden Knights. The slumping, VGK.
So it's fair. And yes, everything you said is fair. And I'm going to kind of counter a little bit here. So after the game, my tweet was pretty simple, coughed up a second period lead, coughed up third, whatever. And a BYU NLV fan jumps on right now. And this, I don't like he says, I hate this team. My response, let's not get ahead of ourselves. BYU NLV fan. It's the same crap as last year. Okay. And then, so my response, at what team was this team leading the West last year? And then, regardless, it's the same vibe right now. And it's like, okay, yes, VGK is slumping. I'll give it to you, Tony. We're slumping a little bit. It's a tough time of the season right now after riding an incredible high. Here comes the Golic chart right now.
Oh, no.
The line was set right around here in that 500 range, right? And then VGK played really well. So we go up. So here's our expectation right now. Unfortunately, now they're playing about down here. Call it what it is. They're slumping. They're struggling. Fine. They're still the number 1 team in the West. They are still getting great things done. They got the benefit of the doubt for a long time, as far as I'm concerned, this season. Now, if come the end of December and in the early January, all of a sudden we're somewhere around the 2nd or 3rd spot, and even looking closer to the wild card area, then yes, we have something to talk about. But what the Friday to everyone right now who is absolutely, I'm not saying who's calling the team slumping, because it's a fair assessment right now, but I'm talking about the people who are 2 levels after you, Tony, who are, it's last year all over again. It's Pete DeBoer. This team sucks. That's just stop.
It does have that feel right now. It does have that feel.
There's concern. There's
a lot of concern.
But we're number 1 in the West. Number 1. Just
at
it's
John.
Okay. It's okay.
At John Jolie 9110. He said, "Where the Friday?" Okay. Oh, where the Friday was the D. Yeah, is Petro being out that significant?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Our good friend Bethan Jeffer Thompson had a career high in saves, but the team in front of him, well, not so much. Ugh.
Fair.
I got an ugh in there too.
Fair.
You had another What the Friday about the Christmas tree lighting.
Oh, thank you, Tony. Yeah. So they say everything starts at 5:00 down in Henderson for the tree lighting, and you got a choir out there like singing Jingle Bells 2 or 3 times. Like, why are they got to sing it multiple times? You got one of the channels out there. I forgot who it was. It wasn't one of the sports guys that I see. Like, they're trying to get the perfect shots, and like they're having the choir start over and standing right in front. This guy just like he's trying to get him. It was more about the news guy making sure he was visible to everyone around instead of like, I don't know. It was just a very strange vibe for this Christmas tree lighting. Although on the plus side, they announced a mini fireworks show. We were inside Mackenzie River enjoying some food and possibly an old fashioned, a smoked old fashioned, so good. And this mini air quotes, mini fireworks show was 15 minutes long. So what the Friday for a strange night and false advertising. It was a good fireworks show. Take us home.
Okay, folks, it's time to depart. We thank you all for making us your first listen each and every day. You can find our podcast wherever you subscribe to podcast, and definitely subscribe to our YouTube channel, Locked On Golden Knights. For my man, Chris Golick, I'm Tony Cardasco from Las Vegas. Have a great weekend. Monday's Boston Bruin Day. We're going to get to that on Monday morning right here on Locked On Golden Knights.